Alright, my name is Tyler McKenzie. I go to Green Street Academy. I'm 16 and I'm in the 10th grade. Right now, I was on Principal's Road and Honor Road. In basketball, yes, I play varsity now. I play JV, but I moved up to varsity now, so I guess that's good.
I'm Davion Hill. I'm 15 years old and I attend Baltimore Polytechnic Institute as a sophomore. I'm taking Foundations of Technology, Chinese 2, Honors English 2, Honors Geometry, Honors Gov, Honors Chem, and Props and Stat. I'm particularly focused on not trying to get any C's. I'm trying to maintain a B average.
My name is Persea Sanders. I'm 17 years old. I am a sophomore and I attend Western High School. So I have almost straight A's. And this year it's high B's, high C's, and a lot of A's. Outside of regular classes, I'm actually on Western's first wrestling team.
My name is Courtney Jacobs III. I'm 16. I attend Green Street Academy, and I'm a sophomore. I have all A's right now, so I'm doing pretty good. I am a perfectionist because I just like things to be right, you know? If it's not the way that I feel like it should be, or if it's not to the potential I feel like it should be, then I'm not gonna be happy with it. Yeah, I'm doing both high and long jump. I'm also doing hurdles as well.
Reading will forever be my favorite thing. Nothing gets better than a book, man. Nothing gets better than a book. I think I might be seen as an enigma sometimes because it's like I'll be in class. Well, school could be a very big example for this because I'll be in class and I'll be like, I'm like one of the top kids in my grade, so I'll be answering all the questions and I'll get an A on the test and I'll do everything. And I just won't turn in my homework, or I might just bomb for a little bit and it'll bring my grade down.
I'm still thinking about mechanical engineering, but then again, I'm also thinking about coding because I do want to build custom PCs. That's become my interest considering I'm a big video gamer and I just want to build a new computer. So my family can't afford college, and one of my challenges is going to be getting the money to be able to financially support me going to college and or getting a scholarship.
My family right now, not in the stable financial, so they're not gonna be able to pay for a full ride. So I gotta get, a scholarship.
Yeah, I have started thinking about college. I'm not necessarily sure about which ones that I'm interested in yet, but I feel like I want to go out of state.
Well, my dream college is actually Howard, but Bowie is looking very nice because a lot of Western girls go to Bowie and Lincoln. For a career, I would like to be a pediatric anesthesiologist because anesthesia is like a dream job for me, especially over at shock trauma.
I would consider myself optimistic about the future, one, because I'm just very open-minded, and I feel like my future holds a lot of very great things, and I want to say I'm ready to experience those great things.
I think my personality, still the same, but me, physically, I think I've changed, and mentally. I got stronger and wiser, so that's how I think I changed. I just feel like if I have enough confidence in myself, I can do anything. So I don't try to limit myself.
I don't see any barriers getting, blocking my goals. And even if there is something, I'm just gonna break through it. That's how I am. I'm gonna persevere until I reach my goals. But then the pessimistic side of me is you can't go to college because you're too poor or whatever.
I don't believe I control my own destiny, but I'm definitely the biggest influencer in my own destiny, because it's obviously always going to be things we can't control and things that's just going to throw us off. But when it comes down to it, I, especially being the type of person I am and the type of influence I can have, I gotta know that at the end of the day, it's up to me. For me, it's important to see African American men and women, because it just shows us that we can do so much. Every day, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sure I can do it, but who can I look up to see that I can do it?
So we get the hang a little bit? Looking forward to it, excellent. So you get some idea who you're talking to. I was born at Andrews Air Force Base and put up for adoption, and grew up in Washington, D.C. And had a very interesting upbringing, because I was raised at a time when the nation was transitioning through a lot of racial tensions.
So I was just curious to see what careers you were thinking about in high school before politics.
I was a monk for 3 years of my life, had the religious habit and the whole thing, living a life of poverty, chastity, and obedience. But I discovered in that vocation and in that calling that God had another plan. And so when I left, I came back and went to Georgetown Law School and got a law degree.
I don't think he faced what some of us have faced at a young age. Seeing people dead, and then having adversity at a young age, it can be with you throughout your lifetime. So I don't know if he has, but I don't think he has.
Like, unless you're like raised in Baltimore, you won't actually, understand how the community actually affects you when you're growing up in certain neighborhoods.
I don't want to say he hasn't struggled, but he's not living the same struggle as me. So his perspective, obviously, we don't share the same ones.
How would you recommend ways on how to stop violence in Baltimore that results in hundreds of homicides?
So we have to take ownership of that as a community. We can't put off on others an expectation that they solve our problem. Because if they don't see us solving it first, there is no incentive for them to help.
So basically what you're saying is that the community should basically start advocating for themselves more than relying on higher power, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't you say the negative effects of that would almost or most likely outweigh the positive effects, considering that somebody's life is on the line? I disagree with Mr. Steele about the part when he mentioned how the community, say for example, there's a situation where somebody might have a gun per take. I think it's it's not as beneficial if everyone were to just try and take them down, because lives can be sacrificed.
I see what you're saying, but I guess I kind of come down with, is your community worth fighting for?
But you can't really understand it until you see it, is that this crime is literally at your front door. And in my neighborhood, it literally is at my front door.
When you just say it's your responsibility, go change it, that's not entirely true. But the way I look at it, then it would be true. But the way he's looking at it is just so many other factors that he's not taking account for.
How do you feel about the student loan restorations?
Yeah, we've got to do something on the student loan front. There's no doubt about that. I mean, to saddle generations with mounds of debt. Have you started having this conversation with your parents and amongst yourselves?
Yeah, it definitely slims the choices out, because you could go to a college and study something that you really like and you're interested in, and still not know you still might not be sure about how you're gonna afford or pay for it.
I feel like the price tags do limit people because the reason most people don't go is because they can't find any way to afford it.
Yeah, I might probably end up like being one of those kids that might have the problem of not having enough money to get into the college for the education I want. So as of right now, I don't really have a plan.
In my house, we talk about college a lot, and we talk about mainly how we're gonna pay for it, because my family is not gonna have enough money to pay for it. So I talk about all the time how I want to get an academic scholarship.
I guess in the short term, until the grown-ups get their act together and figure out how they can be of real help to you, take advantage of the network of grants and scholarships that are out there.
I didn't know that he was the first African American to do what he did. So the fact that he was, it was kind of like, it was inspiring a little bit, because it shows that even if you have doubters, that you still can prevail through it. Like, you can go through it and still do what you want to do.
I actually did feel proud about him being the first black male to do all these things because he overcame so many obstacles.
My wish list would be, I would wish to get rid of the guns in my neighborhood, make college and tuition not so expensive.
We don't feel like we can do a lot because we aren't shown that we can do a lot. So just show the kids in Baltimore and everywhere, period, that they are the next generation.
What do we need to do in public service to clear those pathways for you? How do we make our service relevant to your ambitions and your aspirations? And that for me has always been a very, very important part of it, which is why I'm so honored to be asked to be here with you and spend a little time in conversation.
I thank him for coming, and I thank him for showing wisdom and giving wisdom to us. All right. Thank you, guys.
This is a rapidly escalating emergency situation, which will soon hit all of Maryland and our nation's capital. Marylanders need to know that, unfortunately, we are only at the beginning of this crisis, and it is going to get considerably worse before it gets better.
In March, when everything closed down, to be honest, I wasn't really that interested in what a pandemic was. I'd say now I probably understand what's happening now, and to be honest, I believe a lot of people aren't taking it as seriously as they should. But when school closed down, I was getting kind of nervous because it was a whole transition. I thought I wasn't really gonna get as much as a good learning experience. So in the 11th grade, I'm not really looking forward to virtual learning. I hope that I could go back to the classroom experience as fast as possible, because I'm able to grasp things easier in the classroom than I am online.
At home, he's still the same person that he was before the pandemic as far as keeping up with his schoolwork. I definitely think that he's not one to buckle, but definitely he'll be okay. He'll be great. He's West Baltimore strong, 10 toes down.
So they kept telling me about the pandemic and stuff, but I mean, I didn't really care at the time because I didn't know how serious it was. But once it got more serious, like shutting everything down, that's when a lot of people started taking it more serious, like just like I did. I really like going to school. One, I like learning, and then two, I like seeing my friends every day. And then once we couldn't go to school no more, I realized that I could only see like a certain amount of people. I was mad because of that. But mainly I was mad because I couldn't go back at my school and play basketball. Because that's like my favorite part of going to school, is going out back. I hated it, absolutely hated it. I can't learn online. I don't know anybody that can learn online, but me, I'm more of a visual learner. Like, I need my teacher to be there to show me. If she's not there, then I'm gonna struggle either way. I hate it.
I actually did not understand the impact that the pandemic would have on me and my family. Kind of came out of nowhere, you know. So it hit us. We took it, but you know, everything is still kind of adjusting and getting used to what's going on. Online schooling was pretty challenging not for the work or anything, but just sitting in front of a computer and just like adjusting to the new way of learning. For me and my brothers, we actually had to share 2 of the computers we had, so we would like kind of take shifts, kind of like that. So I used one of the computers while my other brother used the other one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a few times it was some points when like I kind of was like out of it, like I didn't really want to go through with it anymore because it kind of felt like a lot because of everything that was happening. I've also moved out of my city home to the county, so now I'll be attending a different high school. It's gonna be kind of just different, you know, because I'm gonna be going to a new school and then we have a new way of learning now. So it just made the pandemic kind of open my eyes to a lot of the things that were going on that maybe wasn't being talked about during like before the pandemic. It also helped me realize what's really important in life, you know, and how to be grateful for the things that are present and just stuff like that.
I already knew it was happening weeks before because Baltimore City schools follow after the colleges in some cases. As soon as you know that a college like the University of Maryland is closing down, you know that the schools are closing down at some point. I actually really miss the social interaction of school because I feel like I personally learn better with a teacher in front of my face instead of through a screen. So I don't really enjoy learning virtually, but I'm gonna just have to learn to roll with the punches because there's nothing that you can do. I'm not fearful of getting the virus because I follow all guidelines and I'm very introverted, so I'm always in the house. So, that lonely life.
I most definitely did not understand the pandemic. Nobody, it was just like, we was like, okay. Even when it got serious, we just thought we would be out of school for like a couple of weeks. I think for like the past like month and a half, I have been feeling like maybe a little more down than usual. So when I have those moments, I have to like find something to get me out of it. Like I'll work on cleaning my room, I'll read a book or I'll learn something new just to like get out of that funk because it's definitely something that can stick around if you don't get rid of it. I definitely feel as if it's not really going to derail me because it's like, okay, like it threw me off for a little bit, but it's not really nothing that's going to stop me. The world is it was already changing, but I think this catapulted the world. You know, it was just so much change is going to happen now. I come from a place where we never get to chase our dreams because we're constantly on the run from our nightmares. Trying to run, there's constant hurdles, and they seem to go as I do. They want us to see the light, but it's such an infinitesimal amount compared to the darkness surrounding it. These are just a few of the thoughts I have as I continue my hustle through this struggle. And thanks to my vision, nothing finna stop me. That's why I shall bob and weave, get knocked down but never out, because I know where I'm destined to be, defending my people against the injustice of society. When a George Floyd video came out, I watched some of it and I was like, man, like I couldn't even really, it was just too much. When you watching somebody die for real, because it's just like you watching a murder happen. That's just a completely different thing, you know? It's just scary, man. It's just scary because that could be me, that could be my father, that could be my uncle. It's too relatable for real, you feel me? It's too relatable. So you're not gonna feel protected around somebody or feel like they friends with you if you know they could kill you the next day or the next minute. And in a time like this, that's the only thing you gotta make sure you're optimistic every day you wake up. You gotta be hoping for something different to happen.
I would say the Black Lives Matter movement has definitely gave a lot of people more strength, and I would just say overall confidence in what people are fighting for. With the George Floyd situation, I actually got a chance to go to the Black Lives Matter movement in Washington, D.C. to see the monument on the street. Since Freddie Gray, when I was in 6th grade, I would say a lot of things have changed, but kinda at the same time, things are like repeating themselves. It's like a recurrent circle going again with George Floyd. It's been to the point where we can't even trust our own like police in our communities.
Since Freddie Gray, nothing's changed. A different name, same situation, same circumstances of police, the people who are supposed to protect you, using their overwhelming force and power to pretty much subdue and kill a black person when they're supposed to be protecting us. Nothing's changed in the past 5 years or the past 400. Nothing's really changed. The Black Lives Matter movement is really needed. Black men are disproportionately searched and frisked more than other people because the stereotype of black men or men of color, you can be just standing on your own steps and police will come up to you like, what are you doing? Why are you here? When you're just sitting on your own steps, because people are considering you as dangerous when you're really just there. The only crime you did was just being there and living. Hardships have been a part of my life forever, so it's just now becoming popular. That's the only difference. Yeah, I'm West Baltimore strong, so I'm used to all of this.
When I saw the George Floyd video, I was very mad. He was another innocent black man that was killed for no reason. And justice was never served and may never be served. I don't think a lot of changes have happened since Freddie Gray died from the George Floyd incident. I say this because same things are still happening. Innocent people still dying. I don't fear cops. I just fear that one day I can lose my life because of a cop making a wrong judgment. So I just feel like people shouldn't have to live like that. Nobody, whether you black, white, nobody should have to live like that. But I really just want, to be able to wake up and everything. I know when I walk outside that I won't be shot because I'm black. I just hope that one day there's a peace, there's like people can wake up and know that they're equal to the next person.
When I watched the George Floyd video, I watched the entire thing and there really wasn't much to say. Like, I was just speechless. When I watched it, I was just like, oh man, that really happened. Like, I remember the first time seeing that one police officer stand on that guy's neck for that long time. And I don't think it's really just for them to just treat us unfairly just because they got a badge on their chest. Honestly, I have to say, when I do see a cop car around my house, it does make me a bit fearful because I think about the stuff that they were doing and what's going on right now on the news and stuff, and it always lingers in my head like that could happen to me. For my future as an African-American male, I hope that I can be able to roam my streets freely, and I shouldn't really have to worry about anything like coming at me with a lot of hostility, and I should be able to live the life that I want, get a good education, and just live my life. I'm West Baltimore strong. This year is definitely shaky.
Being on virtual, it was definitely tough.
It's definitely been a big change, big adjustment to my life.
So it's real easy to fall behind.
It's such a challenge. Like, I never knew how crucial that environment was.
This COVID year has been just strange all the way around. I think one of the big challenges in it is students and teachers too, for that matter, get a lot of energy out of the interaction, the face-to-face interaction, and learning should be a very energized activity. It's way harder to do that on Zoom. You got an elastic band set up, you got a cart coming down the track, and then the cart runs into the elastic band and then pushes the band and then bounces back. So we're doing an energy diagram on that. For most students, there's been a lot of, they've lost a space where it's just very positive energy. The hardest challenge though is it's just harder to get that energy out of the interaction with students, which is one of the great joys of teaching.
It's like doing it virtual, and I'm not really a virtual type of person, but slowly as we went on, I got used to it, I guess. So it's a lot easier now. Well, yeah, physics actually the easiest class for me. I don't know why, but physics always been like the easiest class for me. So I think my favorite class would probably be physics.
I had Tyler in 7th grade, and then again in 11th grade. He was a question asker. And if you're a question asker, that's in the sciences, at least if the sciences are being taught in the way that I think they should, being a question asker means that it's going to be very satisfying, very interesting, and you're going to do well because you're going to be asking questions, which is really what science is about.
Yeah, but my grades haven't really, they ain't fall. I think when I first started, they was horrible because I had to get used to it. I made honor roll every quarter and I had above a 3.0, so as long as I kept that up, I knew I was going to be fine.
Tyler's done quite well in his classes and his grades. This year, not quite as well, but still really, he's doing very well this year.
So far, my 11th grade year has been different because I've never had to do virtual learning. My first quarter and my second quarter were amazing, but around the third quarter, my grades started going down because it's really easy to fall behind because when you close that computer, there's nothing telling you to do your work anymore. But I don't think it's gonna deter anything because I can just hang through it.
I'd say it's not as bad as it first started because it's definitely a lot more organized. I can't say I don't dislike it. You have a lot more resources when it comes to looking up stuff to help with assignments and whatnot. But I will say, it is kind of hard, multitasking on what's going on around the house and being in class at the same time. Yeah, but I've learned to just try to ignore those distractions. I managed to keep my grades up. Everything's fine. I'm passing my classes. And I think better than I did before. I got a 4.0 GPA on my report card. It was crazy.
Well, being at home for the first couple months of school, it was definitely challenging. But I was never one to fold under pressure, and I've always tried to push myself to adapt to things rather quickly. While it did take me a little bit longer to get used to the new area and the new school and just everything's been different, it was challenging. New school is pretty nice, still getting adjusted to everything, moving to a new area, but overall it's a pretty good school. The 11th grade was definitely challenging for me, but in the end, it's all worth it.
No one really knows, or still, what the effects are going to be from, they say, a lost year. With the lack of a playbook, limited resources, but a lot of committed, smart people, I can confidently say we did the best. We're doing the best we can with the resources and opportunities we have in front of us. It certainly is difficult because they're not engaged in the same way.
11th grade has been real interesting. I had my schoolwork, but it's like, if you don't want to do your schoolwork, you don't have to do your schoolwork, Right now I've been saying, I said there's so many priorities and they all fighting to be the top priority right now, you feel me?
We are challenged to have him doing the things that he needs to do and channel them for his academic progress, right? In terms of his attitude and his intellect, that is no question. It's a matter of academic progress that seems to be where we have difficulty having the rubber meet the road.
So world history, I read in my bedroom by myself. In my bedroom by myself, I read Aristotle's Politics. And sometimes I felt like my brain was going to explode. Have I kept my grades up? Yes and no. Well, more so no than yes. I started slipping on the grades, but it's like interesting because I'll be slipping on the grades, but like I'll have like everything as always. I always got everything together, but it's just a little challenging because I needed that environment. You feel me? I'm Muslim and black. You see, when my ancestors came here, they never gave up their name. And honestly, I feel these people were never truly enslaved because while their bodies might have been here, their souls roam free in the motherland. So I shall protect my name, for verily it is the thing that makes me. It is my armor, it is my essence. So when these people come to me and try and take my name from me, I look them in the eyes and say, nay, nay, don't tell me who I am, for verily I know who I am. I am the black kid from the masjid. End poem.
This piece, about naming, the power in the name, and the way you capture that if you don't use your name, Muhammad, Abdul, Shakir, if you don't use those names, it's like you're stripping the power of your ancestors from your very being, from who you are.
Once you know what your name means, it's just you just move different. You just be like it's a certain level of respect that you just get when you know
there's
your name.
There's a poem in that. Once you know what your name is, you just move different.
Yeah. My new career thoughts. I want to study naturopathic medicine, and that's when you take traditional medicine and modern medicine and you bring them together. Definitely interested in going to college. I work at the Baltimore Museum of Art. I'm a server. I also clean up when everybody leave. I do a lot. I do it all.
My 11th grade year isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I've actually done some stuff that I remember thinking about making music, but now I'm actually doing it. Like there's actual things that I'm starting to do in 11th grade, and I'm trying to exploit my greatest strengths. And I'm doing a lot more research on what I want to do in the future. And yeah, it may be a lot to think about, but I'm going somewhere.
I have a girlfriend. I met her in March. We spend almost every day together, actually, because she lives up the street from me. So we spend almost every day at the basketball court together. If not, we spend every day on the phone together. All I'm really worried about next year is my prom, because I didn't have it this year. That's really what I'm waiting for. That's all I really wanted in my entire high school career. But I don't really have a destiny to college right now. I don't know. I really haven't been thinking about college that much simply because online school is really hard. But yeah, I'm definitely still thinking about college, so.
We've done Howard and a bunch of other state universities. I like the good majority of the schools they showed us. Johns Hopkins is one of my top picks, and then I like a bunch of HBCUs they showed us, like Bowie, Howard, and a bunch of out of states. During this year, I missed a lot of sports because I wanted to do wrestling again, but wrestling was just out the window because it's a really heavy contact sport. Now we're doing spring sports and school's almost over. There's no point in me joining anything at this point.
Now I'm working with my father always at Creighton Potato Factory, and then I'm also picked up a job at McDonald's. Now I'm definitely saving up for a new car. I'm driving now, so I got my license, and yeah, I'm trying to save up for a car. So as far as college, it's definitely the move. I have been having thoughts of being a full-blown entrepreneur eventually, but I do want to go to college for business, and that's probably my main goal as far as college so far.
I was watching this trial through and through, and I almost cried when he got the conviction. All three charges he got convicted on. And I was just so happy, like, but at the same time, I realized, like, 20 minutes later, another black person got shot by the police, like 20 minutes later. It's gotten better in America overall because these racists are thinking now, like, I can be caught on camera, my life can be destroyed from one take of a video. So, personally to me, I believe if you feel like what you do affects other people negatively, keep it inside your own house.
It might change some face in Baltimore. I know a lot of people are still gonna be mad over what happened at George Floyd, but at least they can have a peace of mind. When a cop drives by me, I do get a little nervous, but like if he just keeps driving, then I'm fine. But it's the fact that they might look at my neighborhood some sort of way, and when they think about my neighborhood and that I'm living in it, they could get some ideas of whatever I'm doing outside. And honestly, I don't need that.
So with George Floyd, it was definitely a very surprising verdict because I want to say it's like the first time something like that has happened as far as the outcome with the officer. Police officers definitely need to be held accountable for their actions, and I just don't feel it's a game anymore. And I'm definitely happy to see that that family got what they want.
It's like justice finally actually happened. Like, it's like one of the first times you ever seen a cop actually get justified for something in America. I can't really say that I have full faith in that they will convict somebody else like that again, simply because of how it is. Like, if anything, that might have just been luck, who knows really, but still, I wouldn't really know, because stuff like that's been happening my entire life, so.
When I heard the Derek Chauvin verdict, I was, my sister, she came downstairs to me and she was like, guilty on all charges, Shakir. And of course, I was joyous as everybody was. Now we can capitalize on this. If we choose to, then that would be a blessing. But I feel like it's somewhat opened up. It opened up a little bit of light, and it's letting people see something. So it's up to us to make it more, like, to bring it more into fruition, showing people that we don't stop here. So I pray that we don't stop right here.
We truly are close to that light at the end of the tunnel. But those of you who have not yet been vaccinated, please go get a vaccine as quickly as you can. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your friends, and do it so that all of us can finally put this global pandemic behind us.
I want to acknowledge that this is a very common question among a lot of the communities that I've been engaged in talking with. So these vaccines were developed at extraordinary short time frames, yes, but they did not skip over any of the normal safety procedures in place.
When was the last time I saw you guys? It's been over 1.5 years. How's it been going? It's been some challenging times. Yeah?
It's been a crazy year.
So let's talk a little bit about the vaccine. So, Shakir, what's your hesitancy? Is there a hesitancy? Is it just you don't know where to go? What is it?
It's hesitancy. I'm not really interested in getting the vaccine right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely like, okay, I understand vaccines. I'm not against vaccines, but I do just wanna wait for the vaccines to get figured out. Maybe some years. You feel me? If I do take it, like I just wanna make sure everything's solid.
I respect anybody's decision on whether they want to get the vaccine or not. I think there has been a lot of, it's not that they, tested 20 people and then said, let's go. I mean, they did research and they expedited the whole thing because of how many people were dying and, trying to decrease those numbers. I wouldn't have taken the vaccine if I didn't think it was safe, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody if I didn't think it was safe. You know, there's a lot of myths out there about the vaccine, and just making sure that if you have questions, you ask your doctor, or you can ask me, anybody like that who can make sure that you get that correct information.
So as far as COVID, my family and I have decided, I believe that we're gonna wait it out, but that's probably the only thing. Just how quickly it came out. I think we're gonna wait for, you know, just a little bit more results and just to see how it affects other people.
About the vaccine, I was planning on go ask my mom, can I go take the vaccine? But I still feel like it'd be better if we all got vaccinated, just to help not get COVID, because one of my cousins had recently got COVID, and yeah, we kind of don't want the same thing to happen to us.
I want to stress once again that the fastest way to put this pandemic behind us once and for all is for every single eligible Marylander to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
How can you be sure if these vaccines are truly safe? Is it going to interact with my genes and change me in some permanent sense? So again, the science is that these vaccines do not change your DNA. They do not interact in that way. They are genetic material, yes, but that is not how they work, in the sense that they don't interact with genes to be able to be effective and to do what they need to do.
I mean, it's good that it came out quickly, but it's also it came out suspiciously quick for my liking. I'm eventually gonna get the vaccine because I'm over 18, but I'm gonna get it at a later date. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till side effects start happening, see the dangers of these side effects, how risky they are, and then plan accordingly. Do I want to take it, or am I not going to take it?
We understand the moral compass that we have now to protect all segments of the population and all communities. And now we understand how important it is for us to, use these vaccines to, again, equalize the health inequities that we're seeing right now that are so apparent in this pandemic.
You know, I understand a lot of Black and brown people's hesitancy because of the past. We have a lot of things in place to make sure that things like, with the syphilis and Henrietta Lacks and things like that don't happen anymore. And so I think educating, going into communities and having healthcare providers, particularly healthcare providers that are probably Black or brown, because I think people tend to have a little bit more trust in them.
I don't think my dad's gonna let me take it right now. I don't think he's gonna let me take it, simply because like the first dose or the first batch of vaccines going out still, and he just wants to make sure that it's actually working, like it's what it says is actually a vaccine and not something that just kills people. So I understand why. My stepmother and my aunt, they had COVID like I think 3 weeks ago. It was really scary because I thought I was ready to lose her because she was getting worse. I think like a couple of days in, she was getting really bad, and I thought I was ready to lose her. So it was really hard to focus on school because I didn't want to lose my stepmother. So I was just like, if she was to pass, then like I don't know what I would do with myself. So yeah, I was just really scared. So yeah, it was hard because it's like watching somebody slowly die, it seems like, and you don't never want to see that happen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have been looking forward to seeing y'all for a long time, and I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for the chance to get a chance to rap and hang out a little bit. We can't succeed without you. Everyone else's success is impossible if it doesn't include you. You are going to be as much part of our larger solution as anybody else is. And so the thing that I ask for each and every one of you is that you walk with that confidence. And the journey's not going to be simple. It's not going to be easy. Anyone who's telling you it is not telling you the truth. But just know that weight doesn't have to be yours alone.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can, Davion.
So, growing up in my neighborhood, there's a lot of drug dealers and police around my area, and I've been trying to put in a good word for myself. I've been doing good in class. I'm knocking out virtual 11th grade, and I have good relationships with my teachers and stuff, but I can't really find my own career path. I was hoping you could give me some guidance on how to choose a college and what makes a good college applicant.
Even just getting to the point that you're at right now, it's not simple, it's not easy. And we're just incredibly proud of you. You know, I thought about it a lot, where I think one of the questions that I would always get when I first entered into college, and people ask me all the time, and I got so scared because I didn't have an answer. When people are like, so what's your major? What are you studying? I don't think you need to have it all figured out right now. And it's okay if you don't. I think you want to think about A, what is the environment and the ecosystem that's going to give you the greatest level of support? Where are you going to be surrounded by people who believe in you and your promise and your potential? It's an amazingly personal decision that you have to be comfortable with. And a decision that at the end of the day, you have to be the one to look in the mirror and say, this is right for me. And I'm going to move and excel in a way and in a path that's right for me.
A lot of us are first-gen college goers, and you said you had a very unconventional path. So what do you recommend for first-gen college goers? Because we don't get a lot of experience-based thoughts on family and people around us.
It's one of the questions you should be asking people when you're trying to decide where you want to go to school, is ask them that specific question. What do you have for people who are first in family or first generation? Ask that question. And if they don't have an answer, it means that that's not something they've thought about. If it's something they haven't thought about, you need to think about if that's the right place for you. Ask the question. Ask question after question after question, and never stop asking questions, and never be afraid to ask questions. I ask questions all the time with people. Yeah.
What do you think has helped push you to be such a great leader and just making your team bring everything together?
I had some issues coming up. And literally, I'd been threatened to get sent away for a very long time. I mean, the first time that I felt handcuffs on my wrist was when I was 11. And now the amazing thing I have to tell you is, when I think about all of our journeys and all of our paths, no one has to tell any of you about accountability. You know what I mean? Like you are already accountable for family members, you're already accountable for friends, you already have that measure of accountability. And so the makings of being a great leader, the training ground for being a great leader, truthfully, it's already in you. You're already getting that training.
I don't usually talk about it much, but I lost my mom's at 5, and I got put in the foster care system. So, and I'm also first year graduate when it comes to college. So, well, first year graduate when it comes to high school as well. So, in college. So, how do you deal with the emotions? Because sometimes I feel like it's a lot of emotions, and I don't really know how to deal with all of them. You know, like sometimes I feel like I'll let her down sometimes. I don't really know at times if I'm the best me when it comes to like wanting to make her proud. You know, like every day I wake up and I try so hard to fight off emotions and fight off who I really am, and I go out and put a persona on to smile, joke, laugh, but every day I go back home and it's just depression, and I don't really know how to fight that.
First thing I'll say is, you have no idea how proud she is of you, because I know how proud we all are of you. I know how proud she is of you because I know how proud I am of you, how proud everyone is of you. She did a remarkable job, and she is a remarkable son. This feeling of being alone sometimes, this feeling of being uncertain, this feeling of being depressed, it's something that each and every one of us wrestle with. I still wrestle with it. I remember times, and I can tell you specifically times, where I would literally sit there and lay there in darkness, not asleep, and just like unable to go out. It's a real thing. And also know that it's okay to ask for help on it, which I did and I still do. That it's okay to talk to people about it, which I did and I still do. That it's okay to be vulnerable, which I am, which I was, and I still am. And I learned how dangerous that is, holding all that stuff in. It's not yours alone to hold on to. It's actually important that you're able to then share it with others, which is important. You should not be holding on to this stuff by yourself. To know that you're not alone in this. We all go through it. Never forget how proud she is of you. Because we all are. And so I can only imagine the love and pride she has. You're doing great stuff, man.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
When I see these things, it's kind of hurtful, especially with everything. Like, you know, you have Freddie Gray, you have all of that, but especially like George Floyd. What do you think it'll take for us to really start seeing justice, you know? To really start seeing that big justice that we deserve?
It's a great question because I think that's what we fight for every single day. And so you so brilliantly asked the question of this idea and this definition of justice. Because my definition of justice is when it is not asking for justice for a person, or asking for justice for a thing, or asking for justice for a certain component. But when we're just talking about a measure of justice, where people can have the freedom and the independence and the liberty to live their life, we have to approach this measure and this collective target of justice in a way that's holistic, in a way that there's no separation in terms of where our ambitions are and where our opportunities are. Because right now, there's a distance between those two things. What we aspire to be and what opportunities are there and present to us. There's a distance. Our job is to forever close those distances. We need you in this fight. We need you to get us to where we need to get to. And so I very humbly say thank you for doing what you're doing, because it continues to give us inspiration and it continues to keep our future bright.
On behalf of the CARE Scholars today, I would like to say thank you for coming out and dropping a word of wisdom on everybody. I really appreciate it, and for answering all of our questions. You know, you changed all of our lives, and with today, you showed us a new door that I'm pretty sure everybody in this room didn't know that was there. So I just want to say thank you for coming out. I hope you can do it again sometime.
We'll definitely do it again sometime. And you've changed my life, brother. I'm thankful. Real. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.